Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed our little hike. Figured I'd get out here today. It's not super hot right now. It's about 74. The humidity's at 88. And the dew point's up at 61. So it's humid and it's a real feel already of about 80 out in the sun, maybe 77, 70, 78, 77, probably hotter. When I was walking out through the field it felt more like 90, but thermometers and all that would read different. So anyway, exercise, bottle bag kit, bare bones. It brings me to kind of the discussion for this one is, and I talk about this a lot, what you need versus what you want. And most of us, I'd say 98% of us take what we want into the woods, not just what we need. Like for today's trip, because I'm very familiar with this area after hiking around it for, this is basically the third summer. I know my way around. I know too that no matter what direction I go, I'm not going more than maybe a mile and a half without running into a road. It's a very small area. There's a road a few hundred yards in front of me that way, maybe 600 yards in the main parking area. There's a road about a mile and a quarter that way. There's a road about a mile and a half that way, and there's a road about a mile behind me. Mile and a half, baby. So I know the area. I'm not going to get lost. So I do not have a compass. All I have is my bottle bag kit with a water bottle. I did bring a, I don't really need this, but I brought it to wipe sweat. I got a small first aid kit and my everyday carry stuff, which is just for today. I threw this AK hiker and my general flashlight. And most of this stuff is more want. Did I need the actual bottle bag? No. This could have went in my pocket. This could have went in my back pocket. And I could have carried the water bottle. But for me, I wanted the bottle bag because it's easier to just throw it over my shoulder, and that leaves my hands free to take pictures and film and stuff like that. So, wood stuff is generally a want over need. And I've said that a lot, and I'm guilty of taking more than I need fairly often. I've been working on that and getting down to, if I'm out here, like just for what I'm doing today, it's a little too warm to sit out here and make a coffee or a tea. So I just had some cool water in my bag because, you know, when it gets hot like this and you're sweating and it's humid, that's what you should be drinking, some kind of water or maybe Gatorade, whatever, something like that. Coffee can actually dehydrate you like a little bit like alcohol can. So, and when it's a real feel of in the 80s, who really wants to drink a hot coffee? There's some crazy people, but I'm not one of them. That's not true. I've done it anyway. So that's it. Like I said on the blog recently, there's a lot of debates and stuff for outdoor gear on what you need versus what you want, what you gotta have, and there's no other argument, debate, whatever you want to call it, that gets regurgitated more over and over than knife discussions. And I say it over and over again, Knives are really definitely a want over a need, because I say this again, I say this thousands of times probably in my life. What do you really need in camp? Like today, what did I need a knife for? I don't need a knife to walk around in the woods, take pictures, look at the trees and explore nature. Going camping, what do you need a knife for? Maybe cutting up some food, a piece of rope, maybe a hot dog stick. I would say that, but it's kind of a moot point, because like I've said, most people use some kind of a gas stove these days to cook on, so you don't need a hot dog stick. And that's about it. The average person isn't making shavings. There's twigs and stuff on the ground when you're out here camping and stuff, so you don't definitely need to make shavings. You can, but you don't need to. You don't need your knife to make a fire. You don't need your knife to process wood. You don't need a knife to whittle. This is all want stuff. You need your knife to possibly do food prep and possibly cook cordage. It's generally it. So you don't need much more than say $10 knife that you could get at any place. But we want knives. We want something that looks nice to us, that functions nice, that feels good in the hand. But want versus need is a big thing. And a lot of discussions too about you see it a lot on YouTube and other social medias. These challenges of kits. Put together a $50 kit and go out and spend the night. And as somebody, if you've watched the channel enough or you've been around my forum, I'm very budget-minded on a lot of stuff. I have a couple of knives that are a little on the pricier side. A couple of them, the most expensive ones, for the most part, were gifts, except for one. And let me tell you something, those expensive knives don't work any better than my cheap knives. Not at all. Anyway, so back to the discussion. Need for like a day hike. This is all you need, really. All you need is a water bottle. That's it, water bottle. And a first aid kit. A compass if you're really unfamiliar with the area, and if you're going to be going a lot off trail in a bigger area. That's generally it. I don't think I've ever been one of these people that, if I'm coming out here, I need to put on a 30-pound backpack carrying a shelter and all this other stuff. I might do it if I'm trying to show a video or something like that, but if I'm coming out here for a hike, I can find shade in the woods. I don't need to hang up anything to put shade. I can sit on the ground, or I can just lay back, lean up against a tree. I really don't need to put my hammock or anything up, any of that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with these things. I'm just saying, for me personally, that's not my thing. Now, I come out here, I want to spend my time enjoying the woods. And if I'm filming, maybe talking to you guys or discussing stuff like this, I don't want to, unless it's got a purpose, I'm not hanging up a shelter or a bed or anything like that. The breeze feels kind of nice. So that's it for today. It's Thursday. Tomorrow is supposed to be 84% chance of rain. So here we are on a Thursday. At least we're in the woods, not like last week. So the plan is to do some fishing on Sunday, maybe. And there's a good possibility of another camping trip with the Adirondack Bushcraft Brothers, just the two of us. I invite people camping. They don't seem to want to go, so I think I'm done with that. yeah, I think we were discussing, and I think we're gonna go through with it. Maybe trying our hammocks one last time to see if we can do it. I have a hard time with a hammock because I'm a side and stomach sleeper, and I can never get comfortable in a hammock. But I'm gonna give it a whirl, and we'll see what happens. And I want to too, because my hammock's a little different than most of your hammocks with the attached bug net, that it needs to be set up a little bit different. So I'm going to be probably doing how to set that up. And even if we don't camp, we got to get over there, because we gotta get some firewood and stuff like that together for the September trip, and do a couple things around the camp to get ready for that. Even though it's just going to be the two of us, we're still gonna, like if it was like last year where it was nice weather, it was beautiful weather, but it was on the cool side, so we needed to have a fire a little more than we normally do. So, we gotta do a few things and get some stuff together, and so that's that. And by the way, it is currently only probably around maybe 7:40 in the morning, and it's that warm. It's supposed to climb up to about 95, and the humidity is going to go up a little bit in the afternoon. So we're looking at, again, around a real feel of 100 or better, and that's why I'm out here this morning, because it's been a while and I wanted to get out in the woods, because I love being in the woods. It's awesome. Listening to the breeze blow through the trees, and then everything else is quiet right now. It's just calming. It's not as calming as sitting by a creek, but it's still calming. All right, that's it. All you really need is a water bottle and a first aid kit to go on a hike. Maybe a snack if you're going to be out for the whole day. But if you're only out for a few hours, water bottle, first aid kit, and a compass. That's all you need. What you want is a bottle bag kit, something to wipe sweat off. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.